decider here between Immortals and TSM. And we'll see if Dardoch and Co can make it happen.
All right. Are we going to find the LeBlanc, the Varus? Which one's it going to be?
The Malzahar, the Shen.
No, it's going to be either LeBlanc or Varus.
And then it's going to be...
You owe me.
No, I don't.
Okay, fine.
I didn't bet it wasn't going to be. I was adding other options. I was adding all 6 bans. You're just blaming the first side, red side ban.
Well, I'm going one at a time here, buddy.
We weren't going in order.
Now, the question is, though, honestly, do they want to ban out the Shen versus Hanser? Because last time they took the Rumble right into it. Very happy to do that. You know, good lane, good for team fighting, good for shoving people off towers. They very well could do the same thing here. It's shaping up similar. Malzahar still not going to find his way into this series.
Oh. I didn't expect Jace this early as the ban. Interesting.
Pobelter did have a good Jace game.
He did.
Earlier yesterday. So definitely a nod to him, as well as a couple of possible carry champions for top lane.
Now this is interesting because looking at the game 1 picks and bans, it's the exact same 3 bans for Immortals. And for TSM, they just switched the LeBlanc and Jace position, so the same 6 bans. The Rengar first pick was replied by Shen Lulu. Run it back. And Immortals would rather take the Shen themselves and change things up. So, the first change since the game 1 pick ban.
I do actually think that the Rumble is still the best way to go about the answer to an early Shen like this. But TSM, there are other options. Gangplank is also a pretty good answer I like into an early Shen like that. So, and Hanser has, had success on that champion as well. So they still have options, even though whittled down a little bit here. What does remain true is the Lulu and the Rengar. This time it's taken away from Dardoch. They don't want to let him snowball.
It's TSM with, I believe, 3 straight Lulu games. And been 1-on-1 with that. Karma, of course, the easy answer. No surprises here, but the question is right. What else is going to happen here in the matchup? Dardoch's got to play a new jungler this time in the matchup. Svenskjern's going to play 3 different ones. It was a Kha'Zix loss, a Graves win, and now the Rengar. And they won't even go for the jungle. And the thing is, I actually like this. I feel like there's a lot of junglers right below the Rengar tier that are options. Of course, yes, the Graves is very good, but you heard Svenskjern give respect to the Elise in the pre-tape. You've also got champions like Ivan, I think, are very good. Kha'Zix, Gragas, things like this.
And specifically, Immortals with Dardoch have been very, very open about Dardoch can play any jungler. And they have actually dropped him down to the 2nd pick phase multiple times. He's actually had success on a varied amount of champions. So we'll see if TSM really do try and close that list of champions down on him. As they do enter the 80 carry role.
Yeah, so desynced roles though. There's a top laner for Immortals and a jungler here for TSM. Yeah, thank you. My brain just didn't work for a second, but we'll see what the bans end up being. The first ban going to come through as Elise. Not exactly a huge surprise, but you'd expect that Graves would be next up on the table. Because obviously Graves is very, very powerful in his own right. And some teams consider it over Rengar anyway.
Especially if you are considering you already have shielding from Karma and Shen, and you have a decent amount of crowd control to work with. I think Graves would slot nicely into that Immortals lineup.
Now, will it be a Gangplank to go alongside the Rumble ban, though? You mentioned that there are some good matchups into Shen, or will it be tank v tank? Of course, Nautilus can be an option as well. But we know TSM aren't very tank heavy at this point, so maybe you get rid of the Nautilus and hope they play something squishy, and maybe you can prey on that.
I honestly would go for the other, carry top laner ban into the Gangplank, but that being said, Nautilus wouldn't be super shabby. It's just that you lose a little bit of the global presence.
Wow. So they care so much about the Dardoch Elise that they will let him play Graves, which is, for most teams, the better champion.
And I guess TSM's reasoning would be that they're mostly worried about early game and snowballing, and Elise definitely has that. Graves is a little bit more farm-oriented, but Dardoch has put a lot of time in on Graves. I know he feels super confident on the champion, and we'll wait until they lock it in, but
and it is going to be the Nautilus ban.
It does seem to fit them quite well. Yeah, so they went the other way. They did ban out the Nautilus. We'll see if Hanser feels, like the Gangplank or another one of the tanks, as you said.
I actually like the idea of Gragas, just to potentially get rid of another champion that Dardoch may have wanted to play, but they're going to play a tank top anyway. Nautilus means they're going to play a weaker top laner, in my opinion, in Maokai.
Yeah.
Should make it easier for Flame.
I don't think TSM have to worry about more tanky champions coming in from Immortals. I feel like they might lack damage if they added Gragas to this lineup. Yeah, we'll see if they snag up the Graves though. You know, no need to rush into it. They do pick back-to-back though, so the pick order on second phase for blue side doesn't matter.
Right.
It's just you get to pick both at the same time.
You get a minute to decide, and at 30 seconds to pick one of the two, essentially. The Orianna's going to be the blind pick mid. TSM get to choose afterwards, and actually, they were maybe right about it, and the Graves will go unplayed.
I do think this does end up a little bit light on your damage for Immortals.
There's the Graves, okay.
Aha, they see reason.
They do see reason. Okay, they were having the Gragas like, hey, you like this Gragas? You want to see this champion? We'll go Maokai. You want it?
Yeah, you like that,
maybe
don't
you do. All right, Graves in for Dardoch at the end of the bans and the end of the picks. Still deciding what exactly Bjergsen wants to play. I think I heard some do-its from the audience. Shia LaBeouf apparently is now moving his stream to here. And Ari's going to be the pick after all. Different age champion, but there it is. The lineup's been locked in. Assassin in the mid lane for Bjergsen.
I like it.
Orianna.
A bit more kill pressure, a bit more roaming pressure here for the picks. You know, Rengar and Ari, you really have to worry about vision control. And they're going to have to keep on top of not only, you know, mid lane, but the control ward placement here. We'll have to monitor that fairly closely. That being said, Immortals have a lot of get-out-of-jail-free cards here. Shen, Stand United is great global presence with an Ash Arrow. There's a lot of, you know, potential there for comboing those two abilities to create your own plays wherever you want.
Absolutely. So 3 damage dealers on the Immortal squad with an Enchanter support and a tank top, and TSM. Ari, Ezreal, and the mix of Rengar in there. Svenskeren getting his first Rengar game here of this match, and Dardoch pushed off to the Graves. We'll see how it plays out. It's going to be a fun one. Absolutely. Game 3 about to be underway. TSM have the chance to take over first place. Immortals have the chance to tie for 4th. As the final parting comments come from the coaches, the headsets come off, and
a little bow there on top of the handshake.
All right. Pure respect.
Yeah, where's your respect for me, freak?
Do you deserve it?
Yes.
What?
You've known me for what? 6 years? 5 years?
Doesn't mean I have to respect you. I can like you. Doesn't mean I have to respect you.
Fair enough. Well, let's get into game number 3 here.
I will not bow to you, Kobe. Game 3.
No respect.
I respect you, Kobe. I just don't want to bow to you is all.
Fair
Immortals, TSM, of course, ready to go onto the Rift. Yes, the blind pick, Orianna for Poe Belter. The Ari, always fun to watch. There's so many builds you can go for here for Bjergsen. Apparently, they called him Jensen a couple times last game. I'm sorry about that.
Maybe we're both losing our minds.
We are.
I didn't notice you doing it.
Nor did I.
Or else I definitely would have called you out.
I know. But we are ready to go into this one. 15 seconds on the mark. And no surprise that there's TSM chants in the audience. As game 3 is here, the last game of the weekend for these two squads, and the last game of the weekend for this stream. Immortals hoping to improve in their record. They do have a tough set of matches tomorrow, or sorry, next week. It's C9 and Phoenix 1. It doesn't really get easier, and they're still in that tight position of can they stay in playoffs, will they get past, and picking up wins that they can grab like this one here are very important for making it into the postseason.
Yeah, everybody starts to get a little antsy the closer we get to playoffs here. No matter where you are in the standings at the moment, the North American LCS, incredibly close.
Yeah, it's like an avian zoo. There's so much parity here.
Yes. All right, well, we've also got the Raptors being scouted out. No surprise there. Yeah, more birds. You like it, you like it.
Thanks, buddy.
But we probably will have, oh, actually, Svenskeren, you know, seems like maybe this is just for defensive purposes, but both of the junglers could very well just do the regular starts, Raptors into red. And it looks like that was just a cautionary positioning by the red buff there for Sven. He will get right in for the bonus experience. So often, you gotta watch your mid laners if you want to start here, because almost every mid laner I've ever been with is like, oops, I accidentally stole a couple of the small ones. My bad, I was just trying to help you out.
I like your mid laner impression, by the way. Oops.
And then I go, oops, I accidentally stole your blue buff when I was trying to hand it off.
That explains Smithy's gameplay. Who he keeps taking as Raptors.
Honestly, though, they got all their small Raptors. Everything's great for the junglers, right onto the reds. Actually, a lot faster here for Dardoch, and No, he's on the early warpath, going for an invade, pings down early. Their bottom lane is pushing up nicely, so I like this. We'll see if Rengar blast cones over. Some people try and gain distance by doing that, and he does!
Oop. Ah, he did it! Ah, he finds Dardoch, and Biofrost is here.
I've done that before into someone already waiting, though, so that's what
it's gonna leash.
The excitement came from.
All right, so Dardoch is buying time here. They're really just kind of trading blows and not getting much done. 2 camps have been cleared for both junglers. Looks like with Ole here, there's of course no smite. He jumped right into him. Dardoch's gotta be careful, but oh, the marksman.
The wolves have come to defend their jungle.
And his Pobo's gonna ignite it. He could die. The cannon minion.
It gives up as it gets out of range there. But man, this is an intense blue buff battle. Dardoch eventually is able to
walk away
claim
with it.
that he will be the victor.
Nicely done. Didn't have to play mid lane to be the victor here. Takes that one away. Svenskira takes the wolves. Level 3.
That's what they get for trying to defend his jungle for him.
Yeah.
Jeez. Repaid with no loyalty or respect. That's meanwhile, Dardoch gonna go lay down a couple of.
No ignite for Bjergsen. I think he could have thought that, but I don't know if he knew where Svenskeren was.
Honestly, how worth it is it to? I mean, you're wasting a bit of time. You can get right back to farming. Every second for a jungler is pretty important.
I feel you. You're probably right. You're a way better jungler than I am.
Honestly.
And Flame. Nice ward on the Krugs to help track what's going on. And he's waiting on the satchel for some reason.
You just want to make sure the camera was on him.
Yeah, look at me. Oh, parkour. Oh, watch out, Ole. Taking some damage. Nice Mantra Q. Good damage from the turtle.
Oh!
Arcane shift forward. Exhaust trades with heal. And Cody burns the flash. They got to be careful. The chase is on.
Bio.
And they're going to take him down. The TSM 2-on-2. Ole misses the Q. Oh, you got to be kidding. But the kill does come out of the end. Still 2-1 lead to TSM is an advantage for the squad, of course.
Didn't end up mattering, but in the frantic situations there, a couple of autos going astray. Honestly, though, the classic shift forward from Turtle. They're like, oh yeah, we got the QR on him.
Aggro, yeah.
Did he shift over that volley? That was
pretty sick
if he did. I don't even know if it was
Only
possible
misses
to
the
do
Q.
that.
Unlucky.
But yeah, missed Q, auto minion, doesn't matter. You both die for it.
Yep. All right, well, it was a fun one, and it's TSM with the lead, of course. I'm pretty good about this because the early trade had gone Immortals' way, but they turned it around as well. Looking now at the mid lane, and it's very close also.
Hashtag turtle things, you volley over, or you arcane shift over a volley only to then auto a minion after you get to the other side.
That's okay.
Still super sick.
Yep, he tried.
All right. See if we get any extra action on the bottom lane. Because anytime I see stuff like that, you got to think as a jungler, all summoners blown for both bottom lanes.
Let's go
that is yeah, exactly. Let's go some champions.
Well, we'll see if the party shows up down here. Svenskeren, of course, is talking about the 2-on-2 top side. But maybe with the tank versus tank matchup, it's actually all about the bot lane. The summonerless marksman, the summonerless supports. Maybe it'll happen. Cody-san and Ole still playing with a heavy push right now.
Yeah, I mean, they still have a rush advantage here with the control ward. Ashe, huge amounts of early control in the lane as well, while people are still ramping up on items, not to mention the classic tier from Ezreal. Just going to allow Turtle to try and CS from afar. The CS numbers are still quite good here, even though they don't have control of the lane. Get that one melee, yeah.
Very important that TSM could clear away that controller because the wave was about to be pushed out, and you could see the kind of harass Ole could do from the Fog of War. Dardoch sees that his jungle's been taken away, and level 5 on both these players. Game is back to tied, though. Immortals laning very well. You can see plus 18 for Flame over Haunter in an undisturbed matchup, and that's after Haunter's already burned his TP once.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few more minions left here in the lane, but it's definitely not going to make up your difference there. The thing is, that's why Shen has become super highly prioritized. His lane phase is quite good, not to mention, it is mostly about the ultimate, but you do have to give a little bit of shout out to the lane phase, considering Maokai had that fairly significant nerf to lane phase with the mana cost, as well as the no damage on initial sapling throw. So
definitely meaningful. All right, he gets one. Turtle only down 2 CS in this lane. Jumps in for Cody's-san, misses the Essence Flux, but still wins the battle. Nice shielding.
Definitely pings down here. You can see the advanced warding too. Warding there on the Blast Cone site from Ole. He just went up the river to place that one. Blast Cone is down as well that he knows, but The little squiggly thing usually means it's coming soon, I think, right?
I believe so, yeah. It tells you when it's going to be coming up, I think.
It's growing. You need to
Yeah.
water it.
Something like that.
Meanwhile, Bjergsen post level 6, always looking for opportunities to go aggressive. Right now they have a lot of vision control around that mid lane, which we were hyping up earlier before all the action broke out around bottom. But still is definitely important. And Bjergsen, every time he pushes up the lane, you can see he gets kind of an aggressive peak. He's got pretty forward-facing wards around there as well. Svenskeren now being level 6 on Rengar might be a good chance to combo a play here.
Definitely going to look for what he can do with the level 6 Rengar. It's going to be a big moment. Svenskeren's typically been out jungled by Dardoch this series. This time around, though, he's got through the early game equal. Small XP lead for Dardoch, and gold-wise, it's actually 400 up for the Graves, and that's actually pretty meaningful. It's why this game is actually close, and actually it's Immortals winning in gold right now, despite being down the kill.
Belter with the favorable Thunderlord's trade. Anytime you get the extra ability off to get that third proc, and your opponent not able to find it, going to be very good for your trading purposes. And in the end, it is going to be Svenskeren taking away that blue.
Yeah.
I believe it's for cooldown reduction on your first ultimate for Rengar. And everyone's like, oh yeah, you don't use mana. The cooldown level 1 is pretty long on it, and you know, it can be very crucial when the game is so close at this state.
Yeah.
We'll see if that ends up meaning anything or not.
It might not. I think some of it also was due to the fact that Belter was really heavily pushing, but here comes the ult play. He sees Paul Belter. Bjergsen can chase as well. There's the first flash. Gonna jump over the wall to get it. Here comes Shen. Can they shockwave it in time? He's not gonna get to. The kill just comes through cleanly. Nicely played there by TSM. The first ult pays off.
Ooh, it's gonna chain right into a blue steal on the other side, I believe, because yeah, Dardoch's showing here. On that side means Sven can move right into a counter jungle after a successful gank.
But look at this, how aggressive Oleus finds while Turtle the arrow. No, he's not going to flash it well enough. Turtle's dead. The kill comes through. Beautifully played. Immortals get revenge for the bot lane and earlier.
Oh man, Ole and Cody-san have really been the stars. You gotta kind of pause before you say it, but yeah, you know, Dardoch in the first couple games in this series, yeah. Yesterday, it was about the bottom lane, and they come up big here in game number 3, which is a crucial moment. They're really, you know, finding improvements.
And it's really interesting because that's what it, to me, is so much about the North American LCS at the end of the season is how good are you? Forget your record. If you can make playoffs, and how good are you as a team to make that push? But here's Flame. Damage on a Hanser, but Svenskeren's coming around. Flame has to flash the bola, and does not give much of a chase, but the root is there. The flash to follow gets a bit of a dodge, going for a bit, but out of HP, and the kill comes through. Nicely done by Svenskeren. A good setup for Hanser as well. Not even having to burn flash. Shockwave not meaning that much in a Bjergsen because he stays alive in the lane.
May have gotten a little ahead of myself. I don't know about stars, but they're definitely playing better in the bottom lane.
I respect your opinion.
They are able to at least you know, bring some back here for Immortals. Very close game here. Let's see if Sven can really chain that into anything, because before we were talking about, oh yeah, Dardoch, you know, he's been out jungling this pretty much this whole series.
Ooh. Auto RE, not going to go for it here. Thing is, he had the chance to do so. He landed the auto attack. I'm surprised he didn't go for the combo. Maybe he was low on mana.
Fairly healthy Maokai too, but you know, he's going for it.
If you're willing to flash, you might as well combo, though, I feel like. But, no, well, not going to happen there. Oleo's going to find Bjergsen. He's suddenly surrounded, and goodbye. He is just dead immediately.
Yeah, he finds Bjergsen and Svenskeren and Biofrost. Yep. And that's too many to find, as TSM should be able to grab the Ocean Drake pretty effortlessly after that one. They just saw Dardoch up on the top side, by the way, so they know, you know, there's no threat of Graves trying to eat over the wall and steal it or anything. So very good stuff here for TSM. And as I was trying to get to before, Svenskeren has been critical here in game number 3 for them. Takes away the Rengar pick. A lot of good moves from him.
And the game is still tied, though. The Rengar takeaway definitely has gone well for Svenskeren, who's got 60% KP so far this game. Of course, it's hard to do that any better when your bot lane gets a random double kill in the landing phase level 2. But now a play to the bot side. Biofrost does have flash. Cody-san doesn't go for the ulti. You don't really want to go for the support in a 2-on-2. The actual marksmen do more damage overall, and they're the ones worth focusing. Ocean Drake, really nice for Ezreal though this early. You have infinite mana, you can spam Q on cooldown and never It is actually possible to run out with a tier if you Q on cooldown, and this time you won't. That's helpful.
That's great. I love not running out of mana.
Yeah. Good job ranking our players.
Great for Maokai's lane phase too, because he does need a little help there.
Yeah, that is pretty meaningful.
And Maokai does back off intermittently to try and grab that regeneration. Really though is the bottom side. First should be able to power this down.
They're going to try. Here comes the TP. They want to stop it. They're going to stay for the turret. I like this choice. The turret's going to go down. They're fighting a Biofrost. They're going to almost knock him down. They do. The damage comes through. Here comes the fight. Bjergsen coming for the flank. Here comes Cody's son, ulted in by Shen, and he's going to arrive. Bjergsen dodges the taunt, and Ole's going to go down. 2 for 1 so far, TSM. Svenskeren is on the chase. Shockwave buys a bit of time, but Poets are going to be jumped on. Going to take more damage. Exhaust buys a bit. Jumps back in. Pobutter, why'd you walk back into the Rengar? Stays alive, though, but another kill comes from the bot side. Flame loses his life for the ulti. And it's 3 for 1 TSM. The trade was for the turret.
Yeah, Svenskeren did a decent amount of work here coming down through the river. And they'll retain control of the rift afterwards. I wonder how many they'll keep down here to try and pressure this turret. Maybe they don't even try and answer it. But here we go, another look at it. Immortals do make the call to focus the turret down and then grab their kill. Maybe the Shen ultimate could have come in a bit earlier for Flame there. If they were, convinced that they're going for this turret to completely stay and completely go for that kill. But again, Sven there on the top side, got a lot of work done.
Flame kind of overstayed. I don't think he realized how much damage he's going to take. He was zoning out the team. And
so maybe a little bit lack of communication in that play. They still did get the turret. They still did get a kill, but definitely TSM happy with how they're able to chase them down afterwards.
Sure, of course. Yeah, the total team fight was -2 kills, but plus first turret, which just in gold is probably positive for Immortals, but you have to take map pressure into account and the minion waves you can get with people dead. You can see individual gold-wise, Hanser back to tied with Flame for what was a losing laning phase. Darda continued to farm very, very well. You can see he's still up 400 gold individually. Being part of the turret kill obviously is part of that. We'll see how the rest of the game can play out. Bjergsen already has Merlinamicon, not done yet for Pobelter. That's pretty significant. 1 level lead as well. Nice little bit of poke.
All right, with that bottom turret falling as well, Immortals get the opportunity to switch over their duo lane. Looks like they're actually staying mid here with Flame up top. No Stand United, but he does have teleport. Wow, they just go mid for 1 second, quote unquote, help Pobelter clear a wave and then rotate back down. I was expecting a little bit more, proactive use and try and shift more resources up towards the top side, but right now it's TSM shifting top side as Svenskeren's prepping himself for a dive here.
Yeah, TSM shifting top side, no bot lane outer to defend as the Ezreal and Lulu hold the mid lane, and up goes the Ahri.
Yeah, again, it's TSM that are making the first move when Immortals had time to actually do it.
Then jump in, good bit of damage, the trade back comes in for Flame. This is good damage. Gets rooted though, so he's all right. Nice dodge by Ole, but here's the pressure onto the turret, and it looks like it might be enough. Again, the Ahri sitting in the river, waiting to go back and forth. Turret will be defended.
This pressure should swing back over to mid, though. I mean, you can push your wave in first here if you're TSM.
But Cody's pushing bot, so someone has to go defend that, and it stretches the team out a little bit. And maybe TSM don't get to play aggressively anymore.
Still, though, TSM win out. In that couple of seconds, you get half of a turret's worth of damage there on top side. It is a small advantage, but it's these small things, these differences in, willingness to rotate up there, willingness to completely move your pieces when it was Immortals that actually had the opportunity. Here they go, though.
Taking opportunity onto Hanser, who does pop the ulti for a bit of damage and kites away. But Dardoch still staying in this top side, shoving the wave out, and either it makes it a safe recall for Flame, or they are going to go for turret pressure, and it's going to be the safe recall. Bot lane actually not attacked. I'm a little bit surprised TSM had more pieces on that side of the map. And don't go for turret damage. Instead, it's going to be Wild Turtle recalling.
Yeah, Infernal Drake is going to definitely draw some more wards, I believe. 30 seconds people have to get over there and try and get down some wards. Mostly right now, it's TSM doing all of the prep work here. And it might be Immortals showing up to the quiz a bit late.
Bjergsen still waiting around.
If they don't
in front of this,
it's actually incredibly dangerous. The game is fairly close, even though the kills are lopsided.
Yeah.
But they're moving in with sweepers, making it a little bit safer.
200 gold lead for Immortals, looking to play around this bottom side of the map. The Drake is spawning with Inferno. Both teams want it. TSM right now, the Ocean Drake means nothing as all the teams are full HP. That's going to be a non-factor right now. Mid cleared.
There are a bunch of wards behind Immortals that, Hunter has an opportunity to flank them inside this red quadrant.
TSM have better vision. They got Scuttle Crab as well. 4,000 HP left on this Drake. Svensker going to stay and tank it up.
Here he goes. Hunter's coming in.
Dardoch wants for this one. Arrow's going to land on Svensker, and he's not going to burn the Frosty. He is now. Good smite. Goes to Dardoch. Now Immortals to kite back, but here comes the flank engage. Haunter's in. Here comes Shen. This could be big for TSM, and they talk to Shockmate. Cody-san is gone already. Now what else can TSM get? Pobelter locked up in the front line. Wild Growth helps that one, and it's a lot of kills picked up. 2 for 1 so far. The back push on a Wild Turtle. He stays alive, and Dardoch's next up. It's a 3 for 1. TSM yet again winning the fight 4-11 in kills.
Really good focused dive there from TSM onto Cody-san first to take down the Ashe. Might have to wait for the replay to see the Stand United shield, but Flame actually gets charmed up.
He puts on the taunt and he puts on the shield as well, stays alive, but a damage on Bjergsen Turtle. Ooh, sorry, the turret almost takes him down. Haunter's still tanky. There's the dive in. They're going to get the 4th one of the fight. And they've reset the turret dagger. There's going to be a turret going down. TSM handily ahead.
Flame actually went for an aggressive taunt there and then flashes out instead of defensive taunt and getting
out
away
farther.
with it. Yeah. And they give over another kill plus the turret. So let's take another look at this one. Because they're very close together. Stand United didn't go on Cody's son. It was on Dardoch, actually. And though they were standing very close together, you can click on the portraits. There's also the possibility that they thought the initiation was on Dardoch, but I think in all cases, you start it very early on the Ashe, as that's going to be the primary target. Graves is inherently more tanky. Regardless, though, it was a very good dive there by TSM to take advantage of the shieldless Ashe.
And huge props by Haunter for getting the TP flank in. You had mentioned all the deep wards that TSM had. They were better prepared. And even though the Drake goes away, it was fine. TSM got the better on the back of it. So well played TSM, earning this victory, this lead, I should say, right now. But they're poised for victory with the 2,000 gold lead. We'll see if they can keep it going.
Yeah, we'll definitely see here because Immortals at least have that Infernal Drake.
Good steal.
Good steal. They at least have the red buff. They have the Infernal Drake buff in their pockets. If they can, find themselves an opening here. They do have Ashe for late game picks, and again, we can still mention the Shen and the split pushing, drawing the map across, and then if you find openings with Ashe arrows, it's still definitely a possibility for them. TSM looks very cohesive at the moment, though, and TSM have looked the best when they get those 5-man squads. They dive headfirst in. It's Haunter holding someone in place for Sven and Bjerg to really jump on and take down pretty quickly.
And props to both Haunter and Bjergsen, the solo laners of TSM, maybe the best players on the team right now in their current form. Both Deathless and 8 and 9 KP respectively is pretty good. Those guys are putting in a lot of heavy lifting. Pobelter, unfortunately not the best game here, but everyone's scoreline looks bad when you're 4-12 in kills. Immortals, though, still, to be fair to them, are pretty close in this game. The deficit is not large. And as long as they're aware of that, thing is, it's very easy to say, ooh, they have 3 times our kills, this is rough, but really this game is within reach.
Definitely still true. And it would be such a big win for them if they could get it as well. We've been talking so much about the standings for this week and the coming 2 weeks. The race is definitely on, and in general, Immortals' form looks so much better than the beginning of the season, so definitely still in this one. Definitely got to keep the confidence up. Meanwhile, TSM really want to pull ahead of Cloud9, as Cloud9 did give them an opening earlier, which was a bit unexpected, dropping their game, or dropping not more than their game, dropping their series. There's the Ashe arrow.
And Dardoch going to go for a bit of damage here, trying to push him out. Sven down a half HP. Bjergsen chunked a little bit as well. Buys a bit of time for Immortals.
Yeah, good chunk, but they don't make the call to all-in. If you have the all-in, then it comes in the form of Stand United immediately dashing in, looking for the taunts, trying to really lock that one down. They actually make the call to walk away from the attempted pick there. And in the end,
TSM get a turret.
Get another turret.
Stretches the gold lead to about 2,500. Larger than it was before. Haunter just going to wave clear and catch up on this cannon wave, and has been splitting farm well enough against Flame, who, again, to Haunter's credit, has done a really good job of getting into fights despite not having the same tools that Flame does. playing the weaker champion, generally speaking. Shen, super high prioritized tank. Maokai maybe number 4 in the list.
Well, it's funny because the nerfs that we talked about are all mostly laning phase nerfs for Maokai.
They are.
Still becomes the same massive tree trunk for the front line and scales super well into late games.
I agree in the scaling. It's just he's done better in the first 20 minutes, which is where those nerfs hit him, right? Like, it's supposed to be worse for him, and yet he's up 2 levels after the landing phase. He's got, you know, this turret to work down with, and of course, Hanser's lead makes it easy. 350 gold to him. Big heal, and TSM up 4K. Almost, anyway.
All right, now we find the attempted Fog of War plays. Honestly, though, the vision is pretty much split here around Baron. Both teams got to be a little bit cautious entering the enemy jungle. Positioning means a tremendous amount at this stage. See if they can actually get the inside track here. Svenskeren going pretty deep here, down to meet up with Bjergsen.
So far, it's going to be a bit of a slower game. TSM happy to play it that way, though. Yeah, it's been good for them the way they got the outer turrets down. So now it's time for the next tier and this second Ocean Drake.
Definitely true.
Meanwhile, Immortals go for play top side. Turtle, though, jumps the wall nicely. Shows Dyrus how it's done. Although, to be fair, Arcane Shift is better than Flash for that.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's a lot easier. I'm not going to lie.
That's like easy.
The crowd is on Dyrus' side here, I see.
Here we go, though. Double, I mean, there's like triple control wards on top side, so you know Immortals really want to make a play off that top side. And they do have Stand United, so the rotation of Dardoch and Pobelter means like they're committing all their resources up here, but I guess they got 1 control ward for their troubles.
It is strange, though, because Rengar was kind of known to be bot lane, and Immortals never actually pulled the trigger on making the play happen. All 5 could have been in that lane. Rengar had no hope of joining in time. Immortals don't go for the dive. They don't get the turret damage, and they're slowly bleeding small parts of the map away. 3,500 plus the double Ocean Drake. TSM have been taking more of the map in neutral state. Meaningful gold lead, but still not insurmountable. Just waiting to see if Immortals can do a bit more. Unfortunately for Immortals, though, they've had the worst mid-game shot calling. In Game 1, they had a huge lead. They closed it out respectably. Well played to them. In Game 2, they had the lead again and actually a little bit tossed it away. TSM outplayed them in the mid-game, and TSM took it back. And here, TSM are just winning in the early game, in the mid-game, and have stretched that, actually. And Immortals, you know, to be hopeful for them, you want to see them get a little bit done here.
Well, in order to get something done, they're looking for the Ash Arrows. Like we keep prepping. Those you do want to shoot from Fog of War, so those control wards are sites for that. Rengar, though, not going to give him much time.
Look for the root kits on Pova. He's going to be gone for this one. Exhaust is on the True Shot barrage, and they get away from the Shockwave. Beautifully played. TSM find the kill, and no counteraction at all.
Very close here. Let's see. No mid laner. TSM might actually go for a dive here in the 5v4. Yeah.
On the Dardoch they go. Hanser, the front line, super tanky. A big knocker comes through from the Lulu. Flame has to taunt away this time. It does buy him some freebies, but TSM have no wave to play with. Out they go.
See if they focus more on turret damage this time around. Hanser down to half health. Ah, Redemption, the perfect item.
Continuing the siege. Double Ocean Drake helps as well. Of course, mid lane tier 2 gonna fall, and TSM throw this one to 5K. They're getting more done. 25, 26 minutes in now, TSM with a meaningful lead.
All right. The cooldowns are pretty short at this stage. You know, Shen started to get some cooldown reduction in the Spirit Visage. Usually a lot of Shens will take scaling cooldown reduction runes as well. He might have gotten magic resist for his matchup versus Maokai, but regardless, it will be much shorter just by leveling it up as well. And they could go for, again, these Ash Arrows into Stand United plays. The reason I keep harping on it is because that's what they need to use to their advantage. That's the advantage that they drafted for. Whereas TSM, we mentioned, you know, the scaling of the Maokai, the power of the spearhead style.
Yeah.
Is what TSM has to work with, and that's something that you can really rely upon to enable you some good vision coverage. Yeah, Scuttle Crab is going to be there for a while, but so much work goes into placing control wards that
there's no rush for TSM to knock this down. Anyway, Arrow's going to land on Biofrost. That should be enough. Exhaust is on to buy some time. The burst is there. Shot's going to get it with Red. And he pops the ulti to make sure he's going to be okay. Biofrost gets away with it. He exhausts the flash and his ulti all used. That's advantage Immortals.
TSM live another arrow, though.
Yeah, they do.
All right, let's see what Immortals can do with their map control after that chunk.
Can they get him off this turret? He's going to try to wave clear, and he's going to do a decent job of that. And in a 4 versus 1 almost, nothing meaningful is actually done there.
Yeah, bit of damage on the turret and a collapse here. As you can see, Maokai attempted roam up. There is a control ward there that would spot him if you made it any further. And TSM decide, yeah, we've defended the siege. Pull right back off.
Ooh, and Cody-san actually segueing down to the last whisper. As an individual item, for 1,300 gold, it's definitely better than BF Sword would be, considering there's a big product gets it. Yeah. It's the best you could do against this Hanser Maokai, but because they're behind in gold, having to delay Infinity Edge, not staying up on your crit curve is actually pretty rough. Ashe can normally do really big damage, but behind on gold, you never really keep up with the tanks. It's going to be hard for Cody-san to be meaningful outside of those arrows, unfortunately for him.
Yeah. I mean, he's got the extra cooldown reduction coming in, so at least he can fire more arrows.
Yeah.
Hanser now is going to be on the run. I question how long, I question how long you want to chase that guy. Considering you have very incomplete vision. Look at the starving TSM have done. Not only have they cleared out all these control wards, but starving out those regular wards, timing them out, keeping Immortals pinned up in their own side of the jungle. TSM have really done a very good job of claiming complete control of the vision around the most important spots, later in the game here. This barren cove. Scuttlecrab is timed out as well, and it's good for Immortals that they take this opportunity during the recall to go quickly plant a bunch of new wards.
We'll see if the setup can continue. 4,500 remains the lead as TSM keeps taking over the map. 40 seconds on this Mountain Drake. It's a great late game Drake to have, of course.
There is still only one Scryer trinket as well on Immortals. We never saw Pobelter switch over. He's still using yellow ones.
I think because they have Hawkshot, it's fine. I don't think you need
That's fair.
to dedicate that heavily. What I am scared of is the fact that Cody-san has actually picked up a QSS right now. I feel like you're not allowed to push your damage down that much when you're the team behind. I know Maokai is scary. I know Ari can be scary, but I feel like Mortal Reminder, if you're going to finish that, is just better.
Well, at the moment, it's more important that Svenskerin's made his way down to the bottom side of the map here.
Yep, that's going to go down. Nicely done by TSM.
It's also really good prep for the Drake. I mean, yeah, they can grab the red buff first, but they're trading turrets essentially and adding an extra Drake on top of it. An extra Mountain Drake, which adds so much more threat to this Baron control. If you talk about TSM moving in and choking out all the vision, that becomes so scary if you add the Mountain Drake extra damage on top.
But Ole just stole 150 gold from Cody-san. That turret was going to die. He didn't have to come in and help knock that down. And
Cody shared it. I don't know about stealing.
I mean, he stole it.
Mine.
He stole it. He had $300. He's like, I'm going to give you 150 instead. And Cody-san needs the gold where he needs to catch up in items. I actually don't like that Ole showed up there. Mountain Drake, of course, goes to TSM. No contest. They own the bottom side of the map. We'll see what else can happen here. Ole is going towards, I do like this one though, he's going towards Ardent Sensor. That'll be a nice damage boost off the several auto attackers the team has.
I think though, the plan should be clear for TSM. They've got Rengar, they've got Ari, there's a lot of pick potential. You've got a Mountain Drake now on top of your oceans that you can just go plant yourself near Baron. Start clearing out the wards again. Basically repeat the process that they did maybe 3 or 4 minutes ago, and then kind of wait for good things to come to you. The Ashe Arrow and Hawkshot and all that stuff is going to make it a little bit more difficult, but they definitely have the threat to work with now.
Once again, the push towards the mid lane. Arrow, good juke by Wild Turtle. Is the damage going to be enough, though? Nice Starduck putting the autos in, and yes, it's going to be a turret picked up. That's good for Immortals. Now they got to run away with Distortion. And there's a lot of pings coming out from TSM, pinging out where the wards are, where the recall and the TP flank could come from. It's not going to be a play. Immortals able to get a little bit of this back. Still down this 4,000, but they have kept the lead from ballooning. TSM stacking Drakes, but able to only get so much done. This is nice, though, for TSM. Bjergsen on the split push. Svenskeren is doing this a lot. He's joining in on the winning lanes and getting a lot of pressure and knocking these turrets down. Look at the damage out of Bjergsen. Turtle able to wave clear very aggressively, and Hanser just split pushing in the bot side of the map. Up against Flames Shen, still up one level as a top laner, TSM. The turret being killed off, the damage should be there. TSM again finding the aggressive plays, rotating the team into the split push lane, and making that gold lead 5,000.
Slowly but surely increasing bit by bit. Now that all the outer towers are done, full attention can be applied.
Whoa! Man, he's gone. He was in the brush and now he's dead.
Full attention, please. Yeah, that's almost impossible to react to as Cody's son.
He healed and maybe didn't have to, but
yeah, I mean, maybe if that was the other summoner, if he reacted as quick as that, he was probably already charmed by the time he healed. But if you had some super ridiculously quick reaction, then maybe. Regardless, though, that's going to be the pick that does enable this Baron for TSM.
And no one's going to even stop it. The ward control's too good, TSM. Honestly, this is a pretty good looking game for them. They had a small lead in the early game. They never let up from that. And they have taken nothing but secured objectives and what feel like pretty good plays as a squad. TSM wanting to be on form, of course. They close this game out. They are alone in first place. They continue to ride that wave. They've already secured playoffs, but I really do think the way the teams are shaping up right now, Phoenix 1 looked like the clear number 3 team with how inconsistent the rest of the teams are. Or at least number 3, I should say, for Phoenix 1. And if you get that first seed, you actually dodge Phoenix 1 for longer. You will not get them in the semifinal, which if you play the bracket to their seed, that would be how it would play out.
Yeah. Honestly, first is always best in my experience.
Yeah, good point. But sometimes you have games where seasons where 3 and 4 are like the same power.
Sometimes you get into those Oscar situations, but those are pretty rare.
Yeah,
In general, first is not the worst.
First the worst,
contrary
second
to
best,
what
third
you
the
may
nerd.
have learned growing up. Yep. Honestly, though, let's get back to this.
Absolutely. TSM hoping to close this one out. Now 7,000 in the lead. The Baron buff on the team. This is all they should need to close it out. Quick miss on a Biofrost. Now Dardock's going to be a bit careful. Arrow's going to land on Svenskeren. These two tanky. They pop the Sterix Gauge shield. So at least one minorly important cooldown missing, but Bjergsen still splitting. Still getting wave control.
Yep. Baron buff going to really close the gap here. All the lanes will be right up next to the turrets, and we'll see if TSM actually want to go for the slow game and chip away at the turrets or call Hanser over, because Maokai is a very capable tower diving tank. You just have to be careful not to drop your aggro with a Twisted Advance. Maybe start out with it instead. Brute force here as Svenskeren does get chipped down.
But it doesn't really matter. The turret's gone already, and Hanser to the front line, roots up Flame. Good damage on him, though. Hanser down to about 1,600, back to 2.5K. Redemption.
Everyone retreats to their redemption circles.
Undoes what was done. Hanser still at over half HP, 2,200. Inhibitor under fire. And again, it's a 7,000 gold deficit and a Baron buff. There's not much you can do about it. TSM take that one pretty cleanly.
Yeah, zoning Rengar ultimate. No blood will be shed today.
Except for the minions. And down to the inhibitor turret.
They're
they
always
go again.
forgotten.
They're always lost and forgotten. There's the stun. Svenskeren in front of the turret, but the turret's already gone. Pavoto gets jumped on. There's the damage up, but they got to pick him off, and Orianna's dead. Knock up there on a Cody Sun and a Dardock. They're trying to run away. Hanser is just unassailable into the Nexus turret. That's going to be that one picked up as well. Actually, Cody Sun trades it back. It's a 1-for-1, and IMT keeping alive. A good dodge and the true shot.
Yeah, he trades it back, but that's Baron buff and 2 inhibitors down for TSM, so they have free reign. They decided to play it safe, just go recall, purchase with all that money, and maybe return to the Dragon Pit. Elder Dragon is on the way.
Seems like an easy choice, to be honest. The reset's going to be easy. There are some slightly desynced respawns. 30 seconds on Hanser, only 20 on Pobelter. That 10-second window means very little with Hanser having teleport, but maybe it's something Immortals can happen to work around. Very unlikely, but I guess it's possible. But a 9,000 gold lead, TSM are almost guaranteed this one here. And we'll see how they try to close this one out. Playing for the Elder. Svenskeren's back on the map. Hanser in 8 seconds.
Immortals have so many good takeaways, though, from this week.
Yeah.
I mean, not to mention just their performance yesterday, but even here versus TSM, pushing them pretty far. Bottom lane improvements. You know, Dardock had some good carry games. So, in their race for a playoff spot, definitely can be pretty happy. They'd love to have that feather in their cap of being able to, turn this one around and making that miracle comeback. But even if they aren't able to, well, actually, here's the trigger. We're going to find out pretty soon here.
Ari's topside is a 5v4. Immortals can look for the team fight and hope that without Bjergsen it can go well. Wild Turtle poked out a bit. Immortals really need this to be a fight, and TSM probably shouldn't engage without Bjergsen. Still battling for the Elder Dragon, trying to knock this one down. 3,000 health
Fight.
on it. Spite Fight's going to reset. Here comes the Battlehawk to the front side. Still 5 seconds from Bjergsen. They're going to try to take down the tank, but here comes the re-engage. They've caught the damage, but Dardoch stays alive. And here comes Bjergsen into the mix, and a nice redemption heal will keep Svenskeren afloat as well. Dardoch still fighting a resetting Baron. They're healing back and forth. They've caught out Flame. He's a bit tanky, but he's going to go down to lose the Guardian Angel. Haunts are a bit low. The damage comes in. Turtle almost picks him off. Flame respawning, but the damage should be there from the Ezreal. Bjergsen flashes, gets the damage, picks off Dardoch, and Turtle's on the chase. He chooses to flash forward, finds himself the double kill, and he's done everything he's wanted to do in this game. 3 picked up the Elder Dragon as well, and that's going to be all it takes to close the game out. TSM have everything they need to take this series 2-1.
Bjergsen's on the chase. Cody Sun flashes. Oh, run for the fountain.
Does it even matter? Gonna die as well. He's gonna end this game 1-4-4 in TSM fashion. They lose game 1. They scare all their fans, then say, "Don't worry, guys. We were just sandbagging." They close it out in the end, and TSM take control of first place to close out week 7.
Ooh, what a day!
Seriously.
Slugfest left and right.
Do you have W? I was talking to Kevin. He was like, no, I don't have W.
Some very risky Barons we've seen.
Yeah. And that is a heartbreak.
Turnaround, some Nexus rushing.
Yeah.
Oh,
TSM.
no. Pretty sweet day.
Pretty sweet day, I agree. TSM proving they were the better team. And the thing is, they were one phrase, let's do Baron, away from this being a 2-0 for IMT. They had control in game 2. They already won game 1. Immortals could have made it a 4-0 week. It was close to being that. And with their schedule being so difficult, with their spot in the playoffs so uncertain, that might be the difference between 6th and 7th at the end of the season. That one call in game 2. TSM, thankfully for them, of course, got the game 2 comeback, and they got the game 3 win. Pretty secured, to be honest. That was one of the most secured wins I've seen. They took a small lead, made it a bigger lead, made it a game-winning, team fight at the end. Really impressed with TSM's game 3, but 1 and 2, honestly, were pretty shaky.
Yeah, you can say that again. They got a lot of stuff for VOD review.
Yeah.
Good material here to work on. Definitely a lot of things to clean up. And as we do head into playoffs, I mean, even if you are, placed at the top, placed at the bottom, the teams are so close right now.
They are.
That,
yeah, even teams like Liquid and
it's very probable that there will be a lot of upsets.
Yeah, I think it's very likely, and it's going to be a fun one to watch for. You go into best of 5s. It'll be the first BO5s these teams have played with the new extra 10-band format or 5-band format as well. So that's going to add some new wrenches into the plans. And you're right. The story for this year, at the beginning, it was we've all pushed down towards the middle, and it seems like that's still true. Where I feel like on any given day, any team can beat any team. Double lift on Liquid, Envy finally getting their kind of roster together at this point. Any of these teams can win against any other of these squads. The game records are all pretty close across them, even if the match records aren't quite that. You saw Immortals were, again, 1 shot away from 2-0ing TSM, right? We saw that CLG took down C9. That was unexpected. Like, this can continue to happen, and we're still going to have some really, really close matches.
Yeah, it seems like coming into the season with all the roster moves, we were like, all right, the league's kind of like this. And now, like, with each passing week, it gets closer and closer. And honestly, even the only thing that people were counting on was like, yeah, Cloud9 and TSM are at the top with, Cloud9 dropping and then close series here for TSM. Eyes wide open. Pay attention.
Eyes wide open. Pay attention to this now as Zyrene is waiting on the stage for an interview with